Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for December 19th, 2016. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You can see it's been an inside day affair here over the last several days, where we had a big wide range here, and then over the last few days progressively we've had inside days, and this was preceded by a little bit of further expansion outward. So we have a very tightly coiled price range for the most part. You can see that the previous week's high and the previous week's low are right here. Price closed right near the middle of that range, so you have a very narrow pivot range. And this is basically your range here for the week, perhaps. We could see price come out toward 2240. That could be a great opportunity short term to bring it back up. And conversely, if price pushes above 70, 72, we could be seeing short-term opportunities to fade it back into the range. Right now, this is kind of the ball game as we head into the holiday this coming weekend in the U.S. Monday is a market holiday, next Monday. We also have Fed Chair Janet Yellen speaking later on today, 12:30 p.m. Central, so that will be something the market's working toward later on. So we could see a little bit of a range develop heading into that as well. Overall, on an intraday basis, well, a little bit longer term, obviously the market remains above highs. As long as price remains above 2214, this thing is still poised for much more strength. Same thing if this were to rotate all the way back to 2185, bulls would still look to defend. So any rotation, whether it's small or large, will still likely be defended by bulls. And at the moment, retests of certain key levels should be opportunities to buy on either an intraday or even swing basis. Now, if we take a look, obviously we have lower volumes coming in, lower volatility day over day now heading into the end of the year. So be careful, pick your spots. There's going to be rotations with high volatility and just interspersed with a lot more quieter volatility trading ranges. Right now we have very narrow trading action right here. In overnight trading, we're sitting right around 2257, which is a very, very important key level. Again, if price were to come out toward 2264 short term, that could be a short term opportunity to bring it back toward 57, as that's Friday's high. If price were to come out toward 49s, this could be an opportunity to begin looking for a trap back up short term. Obviously, the previous week's high and low will also be good for that. Okay, let's take a look at crude oil. Here's crude trading range market here in overnight trading. If we take a look at the higher time frame, you'll notice that we've had quite a significant move both down and up. So two moves here. The first one was the rejection here, rejection day. We talked about the midpoint and the attempt to push it back toward the previous week's low here. And then price hit 50, just shy of that previous week's low, and then began to form an absorption signature down there that we noticed intraday. And that implied that we could be looking at a move back toward higher prices and as high as 53.40. And we did. We got right back to the 53.40 level. Now, again, this is an area here, 53.40 and above, that is very, very thick with sellers. Rejection likely to be seen in this area, but if they can push price through 54s, obviously we continue higher. We're at the larger edge of this range, and right now, given this impulse move from these highs to this low, that could be the range now, the key range to watch short term. Watching the edges to play for fades and eventually looking for breakout and range expansion from there. We are right at the 52 resistance, right in the middle of the zone. If it's finding acceptance, we could grind right through it and start to reach for those 62s that we talked about. Otherwise, if there continues to be rejection at and above 53.40, then again, the next major level down is 46.69. That's composite BPOC. And if this is rejection, then this is value. So we're at a do or die point here in crude oil, and we'll see how it continues to progress throughout the week. On an intraday basis right now, here it is. You can see it's mostly a trading range market today, and we're now testing the outer edge. You can see VWAP quietly pushing downward, but 53.21 is VWAP and VPOC at the moment. So if we do find an edge down here, it could be a quick fade right back to this level. Overall, we'll see how this continues to progress. There's a nice LV in here at 51.57. Should price get into this zone, this would be a fantastic zone to buy it for a return back toward 53. That could play out later on today. It could play out, it could play out tomorrow. So we'll see. Anytime that 51.57 is hit, watch it very closely. We have a gap down here as well from the rollover. So we'll play this and see how the LVN turns out here at 51.57. Overall, short term, that's S3. And if we get outside of value this way, it could be a short-term fade back up. If we get too far outside of value here, here's R3, we could see a short-term fade back down. All right, let's take a look here at gold futures now. Here's gold futures, a little bit of a rounded bottom on the intraday. If we take a look at the higher time frame with the weekly PivotBoss pivots, you'll notice that we continue to see weakness overall to the downside. Downtrending market, very, very significant downtrending market. We've obviously found every point where the bulls have tried to defend, but we knew that most of the time that it was just not going to work. This last time was perhaps the best because not only were we at new lows, we had very clean area of support, but we saw the rejection of highs first. And I told you before, I love when the market rejects two-day highs in a downtrending market because that usually happens right before the dump to new lows. We were able to catch it perfectly off the 1167s, got a dump lower, and now we're holding. Again, this is the very same deal. We're starting the week with lower value relationship on the PivotBoss pivots here with the pivot range, and we're rallying into that range from below. That's typically an opportunity for bears to fade it. So far, I would say that in this zone here, about 44, 45, 46, expect bears to continue to defend for a shot at retesting new lows and heading into 1120 and below. Above 1148, 1150 could squeeze back toward 1170, but again, any bounce should still be considered a selling opportunity until proven otherwise, especially in this market. Lastly, let's take a look at the NQ. We've had quite a squeeze in the NQ here lately. One of the things we talked about was 49.10 being an area to defend. So after this, they squeezed above this high and had a midpoint there. We talked about that level being the zone to defend. And it hit that level the next day and bounced. Then it hit that level Friday and held. So right now, we know that 49.10 is a very important key level in the charts. We know that bulls have defended there over the two of the last 3 days, plus the squeeze day, so all week. So there are sell stops below 4,900. If these bulls don't get paid after holding and doing business up here, then the stops will come out below 4,900, and this thing could drop all the way back toward 47.20 to 47.30. So this is going to be significant. Obviously, any sell-off is a buying opportunity still, no matter how much it pulls back. That's just been the market lately. But this is going to be what's to watch here. If price drops below 4,900 and then rejects those levels, that could be a huge buy for new highs and a continuation higher. So again, 4,900, 4,910 is going to continue to be the area to watch down here. Initially, since we're trending up, any push below that level will be watched for a fade. Conversely, the upside level, if price pushes above these highs, watch it for a potential short-term pullback toward value. All right, let's take a look at the intraday to finish up here. If we bring up our intraday style, one thing you'll notice here is that price is trading closing value on Friday and was rejected. So far, value has been trending lower, price pulls back, and so far it's defended. So this is going to be an area right here above 49.28, 49.30 would squeeze back to at 49.45, 49.51, 75, right? But right now, this area is being defended for a shot at seeing new lows toward 49.10, 49.05. Again, that 4900 to 49.10 zone is very important. So you can see the LVN right here. So right in this zone is about where if price comes into the zone, you would expect to look for bulls to defend and trap. If there's any failure to hold 4900, it could be significant, and it could lead to much more weakness. So that's the zone to watch today. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the new week of trading. Good luck, trade well, and happy Monday.